Okay, this question, some students, right, will get very stuck at this question if they don't understand what they are trying to tell you. So it looks quite plain, but you will have to read super carefully. So for example, I'm going to highlight to you this statement first. So there's a rectangular column, and the rectangular column will outline 4 numbers. So they gave you a sample, and the keyword is it can be placed anywhere on the grid. So they show you a sample here, how a rectangular column looks like. So you can have other rectangular column. So it can be here as well, or it can be here as well. It just must be rectangular, no other shape. So it can also be here, of course. So this is what they are trying to tell you. There's a lot of column, vertical column. So there was another year that such question came out, but it was a square grid. Okay, so the square grid can be placed anywhere on the square box can be placed anywhere on the grid. So in this case, it's a vertical column, a rectangular column. So it must be this shape, and it can be anywhere on the grid, which means that it can be any column. Then you got to read very carefully. The question says that T represent the number on the top. So this is the top. So imagine you got 4 boxes. So T will be on the top. Okay, your job is to find an expression for the product of the top number and the bottom number. So first of all, you must see a pattern. So this question is partly number pattern. You got to see the pattern. What's the pattern between the top and the bottom number? And you got to investigate a few rectangular columns. So for example, I investigate the original one that they gave. So from 9, here looks like it's like plus 18. So it looks like the top and the bottom number has a difference of 18. So I'm going to explore this, whether is it correct or not. So here, from here, is it also plus 18? So you can explore any vertical column. So you should find that the pattern will be the same. The difference between the top and the bottom number is 18. So there is a difference between the top and bottom number, a difference of 18. That's why I will deduce that the bottom number is T plus 18. So if the top number is T, then the bottom number will be T plus 18 because they consistently have a difference of 18. So I follow the instruction. The instruction would like me to do a product. So I'll just be doing my basic algebra. I'll just be multiply them. So that's my answer. So the number pattern come in the observation. You observe how is the top number related to the bottom number. Okay, and then you do the algebra product. After that, they are leading us to the second part. I got to explain why the difference between the product of the middle two number. So it's quite a long thing. There, you need to investigate the difference. Difference of what? Something minus something. So it will be the product of the top and bottom, which I already gotten here. And then I also need the product of the middle two number. So I need to go back to my table. I need to go back to my rectangular column. I need to observe what's the pattern between the top number and the second number and the third number, the middle two. So if you observe, this looks like it's always adding a 6. So you can observe a few columns. So my second number turns out to be a T plus 6. So you observe the third number. You realize that it's every time you're adding a 12. That's why my middle two number, my second number will be a T plus 6. You need to observe a few vertical columns. Then my third number is T plus 12. And I'm going to do the product. So the product is your set 2 expansion. So after this, you take the difference. So you take the difference, use this to subtract, and you realize that the difference is always a 72. So I'm using algebra to subtract, and it shows that it will always be a 72. So that's where the number pattern happens. Okay, and then the next one, if you already, by the time you hit part 3, if you can see also there's a pattern in the vertical column. So the pattern in the column, in any rectangular column, is like this. Then the third part is actually very easy. They said that the sum is 360. That means, right, you just have to use your normal algebra. You add up everything to get a 360. So that's what I did. I add up the 4 numbers, and the 4 numbers is equal to 360. And I can find the value of T. Okay, I think this answer is wrong. I forgot to change this. The question is asking for the largest number in the column. The largest, of course, is the bottom one. So the largest is going to be T plus 18. So it's supposed to be 81 plus 18. So you find your T and answer the question to get the largest number, which is a 99. Okay, I forgot to add this part. So do take note that after you find your T, find the largest number. They can generally ask you to find any of the possible numbers. So that is algebra. If let's say you already observe the pattern in the 4 numbers, that becomes algebra. Okay, so for part B is a question on number pattern, but this one is common difference. How do you know it's common difference? Because the question says that the difference between consecutive term is constant. That means next to each other, the difference is the same. That means you're always adding the same number or you're always subtracting the same number. So in this question, they gave us the third number and they gave us the sixth number. So you will have added the same number 3 times. So you can do algebra for this. You can do algebra for this. That means, right, from 36, if you add the number 3 times, you will get to 60. You can all find the common difference. But of course, there are some students, they don't do algebra. They will use like primary school math. So they will do something like this, divide by 3, they will also get the same difference. Okay, so once you got the difference, you will need to backtrack to your first term, which is your A, which is your T1, so that you can execute the common difference formula. So your A will be 20, your difference will be the 8. And then you simplify it. Okay, so this one is a pure common difference question. And subsequently, your job is to explain why all these are the multiples of 4. It's actually quite easy. You just get the n term. You realize that you can factorize 4 out of the n term. That means the n term has a factor of 4. So if the n term has a factor of 4, that means all the terms will be a multiple of 4. So this whole question has some elements of number pattern and some amount of algebra. So you do need to read on the spot, or else you will find that you couldn't do up the whole question.